Today we got Kevin Shake with us. We're sitting in his fur shed. I don't know if you got a name for it, but that's what it is.
That's what it is. Fur shed.
We got coons and coyotes and beaver and muskrats hanging up and 4,000 traps. About everything else you need for trapping. So thanks for joining us today. We're going to talk a little bit about trapping, obviously. So how long you been doing this?
Most of my life, but probably really got into the steel traps and coons when I was 13, 14 years old, and little creeks around home behind the house.
Yeah, my first memory of hearing trapping, was you in our neighborhood. I don't know why, but I think there was some fox or something maybe that the neighbors wanted gone for. I don't know if they're going to eat our dogs or what.
Well, I remember a few coyotes being up there behind your house. Yeah. Yep.
And they were nervous. So. I remember Kevin Shake was going to come and trap them. So I was like little. I was like 6 maybe. So.
Yeah, because I was junior high school. I remember doing it. I don't think I had my driver's license yet.
Yeah, so it's been a while. But yeah, I know trapping. I've twiddled around with it for a few years, not recently, but how much work it can be. But if a guy was to get into it, kind of go through what you would need, I guess, to get going. Just start out.
I mean, if you're just going to start out, a guy that's wanting to try to, something simple, if you're wanting to go out and catch some coons or, play around the creeks or something like that, you don't need much. I mean, so many different trapping supply stores where you can get, just a coon cuff or some little Duke 1.5s and some stakes and get you a can of mackerel and a little shovel and you can go catch coons. I mean, it doesn't take much to go do it. Same thing with muskrats even. You pick you up some 110s at Rural King and you can be trapping some muskrats that night if you want to. There's your stuff like your coyotes and your fox. It takes a little more gear, but in a little more time, to do it. But probably just entry-level stuff there. If you go to a place like a Hoosier Trapper or an F&T, I mean, they offer kits that are set up, half a dozen traps, everything you need. Mm-hmm. And it's going to give you the stuff that you can go out and do it.
Then you can find out, if you really want to keep going
absolutely.
Or not.
Yeah,
you can find out real quick how much it might suck to get started and how much time. And you got to really like being outdoors, which catching coons and stuff can be a good activity. I know you take your daughters and stuff. Mm-hmm. Taking kids, that's a perfect way to get them out.
Yeah.
Just to catch some coons, maybe not start out with a coyote because you may go for a week and not see one,
Yeah.
So you starting out because of how tedious you have to be, and we can get into that with, scent and visuals and stuff, but...
Yeah, coon's a good quick success thing. I mean, my girls, they'll do it with me. They set their own stuff. They set traps behind the house this year by themselves. They were making little GoPro videos and all kinds of stuff of it, so... They play around with it, but it's quick success stuff.
Right.
I mean, they're fairly easy. And
coons, we know, Lord knows there's thousands and thousands of coons around there. I mean, I don't know what's going on. People just, because you think fur prices, or people aren't just hunting them like as much as they used to.
Yes, I mean, all the above. I think a lot of it's fur prices where you just...
Nobody wants to kill them because there's nothing to do with it.
I remember back when I was 12, 13, 14 years old, I went with one guy one time on his trap line, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever, man. I got me some traps, started catching me some coons.
Yep.
I still remember I had one guy that he bought them from me. He wanted to eat them.
Yeah.
$20 a coon, buddy. I was raking it in.
Yeah, absolutely.
You probably didn't have to skin them either, probably.
No, never didn't skin them, nothing. Just took them out of the trap and gave them to him. I had it made.
You can get rich doing it that way. Golly.
Yeah, you give me $20 a coon and you won't see me for a while.
Yeah. But
man,
that was back. Yeah, I was pretty young. Didn't know what I was doing, but I was having fun.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all it is, just having fun.
Yeah, and the thing too with the coons is not only they're blowing up population, but that just makes it worse on turkey.
Yeah.
Turkey populations eating eggs and stuff.
For sure.
I told him, I said, I've waged war against coons and possums and any other little nest creature that because they do damage. A lot of people don't realize that, but
it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Your coons and possums and stuff, they're hurting your turkeys more than everybody looks at. Well, it's coyotes and cats. Well, yeah, they do something, but it's your coons, your possums, and your nest raiders.
Yeah, the turkeys and the quail and stuff like that is.
For sure.
Everybody's it's pretty obvious everything's taking a hit right
Yeah.
now, and I think it's mostly because nobody's trapping coons like they used to.
Yeah, nobody's hunting them.
Yep. Yeah, coon hunters. And
I don't know
Makes a difference.
how we can try to get more people to go out and do it just to help. But, I mean, simple box traps like you got sitting up there, it's not hard. They're cheap, and you know you keep reusing them. Throw some corn in or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it can be cheap and easy. But
Yep.
the more you can get rid of, the better. But
Oh, yeah.
until Mother Nature wipes them out with the disease because they're so overpopulated. But
Yeah, and it's coming. It'll come.
yeah, it always does. You know, one thing gets too populated, and then something will happen, and it'll bring it back down. But we might as well do our part.
Have a good time doing
have a
it.
good time doing it. Exactly.
You talk about prices. What is an average coon might get you? A couple bucks?
I mean, this year, yeah, a couple bucks. That's if you're putting it up and, I mean, fleshing them out, drying them, doing the whole thing. I've been watching some auctions, and, I mean, your averages are right there around $3.
After all that,
Yeah.
good.
Yep.
Man, that's a lot of work for
Yeah.
$3.
That barely gets you a fountain drink. Wine bar.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There isn't a lot of money in it, but it's still, there's a little bit of that population control. Because most places I trap now are places where I hunt.
Right.
That's where I'm hitting.
I mean, yeah, we have the proof down at our farm. We have a farm down in Corden, and I noticed when we first started hunting, the turkey population was just crazy down there. And I got talking to one of the neighbors, good friends with him now, and he actually he's been trapping coons around there for years, and he's trapped 50-some this year already. And that's why, because he puts a hurting on the coons, and I mean,
it makes a big difference.
yeah, every hen I seen this year had 9 or 10 poults with it because they all live in. It makes a big difference.
Oh,
Makes
yeah,
a huge difference.
Yes, it does.
Need more people doing that.
All right, we'll get into the coyotes section now. So if you got a property you're going, like, let's just start with the woods. You trapping woods?
I don't trap a lot of
Woods?
woods. I mean, I'll throw some in the woods if I know there's coyotes there. If I've had trail cameras on deer and I see a lot of coyotes coming down, a woods line or in a woods.
Yeah.
But most of the places I'm at are field edges, ditches,
Okay.
tree lines, fence lines. That's where I'm at most of the time.
So,
that's what I'm looking for.
Are you looking for like sign, like poop, or
Yeah, I mean that's always a
Or-
big part of it. But there's places you can look at a field or look at a piece of property and kind of know where you're going to find that sign or have a good idea. Any place you've got intersections, if you've got farm roads, fence lines, ditch lines, crop changes, it can be as simple as just this property owner planted beans last year, this one planted corn, or maybe this one's side is tilled. They'll run that edge. I mean, they're edge creatures. And if you look on those edges, you will usually find tracks. You'll find scat. You'll see where they're running up and down those lines. And that's where I go. Now, a lot of times when I'm trapping, though, I don't get very far off the road either. So I kind of will set places where you might not see a lot of sign, but I don't have the time to run
just do
out,
that for convenience?
It's just convenience
Yeah,
for me.
okay.
Yeah.
Right. That makes sense. So, okay, you got your location. Then what? Like,
Well, I mean, you're just thinking here locally, close to the house, a lot of these ditches that, I know they're running, a lot of intersections. County roads will even work as one of those intersections.
they kind of have, don't they sort of have like territories, like
They
kind of
do.
boundaries?
They do. Yeah, I mean, you'll find in some of these areas I've noticed, locally anyway, it seems like if you set them pretty hard, you'll catch that first family group pretty quick.
Yeah.
And then it'll go dead for a few days, week, and then all of a sudden you'll catch that straggler that starts coming back in, and you'll start picking up little random coyotes that start filtering back in over time.
Yeah.
And it's now to say how many of them there are, I don't know how big those family groups get, but it's kind of the same thing every year on some of the properties that I trap every year.
Yeah.
It's kind of how it goes.
So I guess they don't. Do they ever get cautious or weary of same sets every year? Like ones that don't get caught,
You
will
get-
smell it or dig
Every
it up.
once in a while, you'll get a coyote that he'll start messing with you. He'll start digging from behind. He'll start circling. You'll see where he'll come up and he'll dig the outside. Some of them, maybe they've been snapped before. Maybe I've missed them. Maybe, there's other guys that trap around here too.
Right.
So, I mean, who knows what they've seen. And an older coyote, he's probably seen it all. He's smelled it all. But there's ways to get him too. I mean, you find a digger, you can put your trap on the backside.
Set multiple.
Set that multiple where he's done it to me 2 times now. So I'll sneak one behind him and blend that in where he can't see it, where there's nothing there, and catch him as he tries to walk up on that backside. You can also kind of go away, keep that set right where it's at and scoot back. I don't go very far. I may only go, 15 feet. I'll make a little high spot, and I'll put that trap right in that high spot. And coyotes like those high places where they can get up and look, and you'll catch him right there. Sometimes you can do it just as a blind set with nothing, where he just hoping he'll put his feet up there to look at what he's got. I've tricked a few of them doing that.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I never thought about that. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
When it works, it's cool. It doesn't work all the time. But when it does work, it's cool.
Right. Yeah. So, okay, now let's get to you got your spot, you got your, what size trap for people who don't know?
So most of what I use MB 550s kind of predominantly. It's roughly 5.5 inches is what it is. That trap is pretty well ready to go out of the box. You don't have to do anything. Strap a stake to it, and you're good to go.
You don't have to do any boiling it, oil, wax.
I do boil. I don't dye them a lot. I'll dye them at some point, and then I might go several years before I dye them again. It just depends on if it gets wore off, and all that dye is doing just protecting your trap. It's just saving your investment's what it's doing.
Okay.
And then I do wax everything. So if I get a trap every year, I'll boil all my traps and air them out, and then wax them all and put them away, before season.
Okay. Then it's ready to go.
Then it's ready to go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And there's there's guys that do it 100 different ways. I mean, I have my way that I've done for years. It works, and I don't really deviate from it. And then there's guys that will pull them right out of a box and go set them and still catch coyotes.
Yeah.
But
so the wax on it, is that scent, protection?
A little bit of scent, a lot of bit protection.
Okay.
I mean, it's going to speed your trap up a little bit.
Right.
But it's a lot just to protect the trap. I mean, that's the main thing. Mm-hmm. You're putting it in the dirt. You're trapping when it's cold. A lot of times you're using salt. I mean, it's just keeping it from your springs rusting, your jaws getting rusty, and it just protects the investment.
Yeah.
Because they are expensive.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
Yes. Yeah. So, okay. Now, what sets do you use mostly?
Mostly, I don't get too flashy with anything I do catching coyotes. I use either a single little punched-in dirt hole or a double. And when I say punched in, it may only be a little 2-inch diameter hole.
How deep do you make it?
As deep as I can get it.
Yeah.
I mean,
you want that thing down.
I want him to have to work. If he comes up and misses the trap the first time, I want him to have to stand there for a second if he's going to work it. I don't want him to be able to come up and see it or be able to just reach in and grab it and take off.
Right. So your hole is where you're putting your bait, the food that they're looking for.
Yep.
So you're digging that hole as deep as you do, straight up and down, angled to where you can see it, or
more straight up and down than anything.
So you can stand over top of it, or make him stand over top of it.
The way I always imagine when I'm making them is where he is standing, where his head is at, where his eye line is, where he's going to have to go to look down that hole, and then just try to envision where his feet are at the same time.
Right.
It's I'm about 6 inches back from the center of my hole to my trap pan and kind of off at a 45-degree angle, roughly. I mean, it's not a science. That's just over the years I've kind of done that.
Right.
And kick it to,
pinky to thumb,
Yeah, and it works out for me.
Yeah.
Right.
And I always go to the right-hand side. I think because I'm just right-handed, and that's what I do.
Right.
You can catch them in the right or the left, it doesn't matter, but I go to the right-hand side. But I don't, so many of my sets, I set within 50 yards of the county road. I don't go very far, so I don't want to be very flashy.
Yeah.
Because I don't want everybody to know where they're at. I don't really care if somebody sees it after I catch him, but I don't want everybody seeing my sets either.
Yeah.
And, so I've always trapped pretty quietly and just try to go on, sign, location, and using scent to bring him where you want him.
So, okay, your scent, you got your, what are you using in your bait hole?
I buy stuff. I stick with Indiana guys on buying bait. I mean, there's a few in Indiana.
They're selling like ground up mice or what do they got? What do you?
I don't know what all's in it. I know some of it is they use a lot of beaver meat, and some of it,
a lot of that stuff stinks too.
Some of it, I don't use anything that smells very bad. And then lure wise, I use a castor based lure and a fox gland and fox urine, and that's about as
for your coyote sets. Everything
I do catching coyotes, I use all fox.
Why? Is there any reason, or just?
I started doing it years ago because I wanted to catch fox at the same time, and a coyote will still work it, and a fox would work it, and
2 for 1, whatever.
Even though we don't have that many fox, and whether it made a difference or not, I had success and I stayed with it. So, right or wrong.
Well, why change it? I guess.
It worked for me.
Yeah.
If it's broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
You got your hole, you got your pan 6 inches away.
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah, and then so you got your bait in the hole, then your attractant lure. How do you poke a stick and stick it in the ground?
Yeah,
How
just
do you
take a stick. Some of it, I'll use some lamb's wool or even like a polyfill, like goes in a pillow. I'll use some of that sometimes, just as a lure holder, just to hold it when it does rain, and then shove it down in there, or a ball of grass or anything. Because when I make those holes, I just take a stake and drive it down the ground, just kind of wall it in a circle a little bit, and so that's all it is. If it's a single hole, I'll bait the hole, I'll lure the edge of it, a little bit of urine, and when I say a little bit, I mean just a little quick squirt, just a mist is all it is.
You do that on the hole or outside?
Outside on the backing.
Okay. On the backing, always on the backing?
I always put it on the backing.
Yeah.
Like what's like when you say backing, like what do you usually?
I don't use anything big.
Just what's around, probably?
Usually what's around, little grass tufts. One of my favorite sets is you go into a wheat field where it's got just little short green wheat stubble and take a white rock off the county road, and I'll only use that white rock as a backing, and I'll put 2 little small holes in front of it, and that has caught me more coyotes over the years, and it's I don't know why, it's just that white seems to pop at night, and it's one of those things that's worked. And I try it, and it's fun. I think it's fun. You grab a little rock and throw it down, and then, it looks good.
Yeah, a lot of time you try to think like you got to make this fancy, V-shaped, really lure them in there, but more or less they're scared. It scares me.
Yeah, I'm very subtle on everything I do. It's rare that I'll make a big hole, it doesn't look like I did much after I'm done.
Right.
The other ways work. There's guys that catch coyote after coyote after coyote digging great big dirt holes and making a mess.
Yeah.
When they're doing it, and it is eye appealing, but
Is it true? I've heard guys tell me that when you catch a coyote once in a trap, that seems like you can catch another one, and like once they tore up the ground around it and stuff, or do you usually move your traps?
You can. I've caught a lot in remakes. I always remake it, but you will also see when you get in, you'll see where a coyote has come up and walked that outside, and he won't enter that circle. I don't know why. Most of them will commit to it and go in and work it, but for some reason, some will shy away from it, and I don't know why it is, but some do. So anytime I make a set, I've always got 2 sets. It would be rare that I would only set 1 trap in an area. 2 reasons. You catch one, you've still got a good set beside it. It is fun catching doubles.
Right.
when you can sit right between them and they're that close. And then also you catch a non-target, you catch one of your possums, you catch a coon or something, you still got a good working set over there.
Yeah.
But they'll still work that. You catch a coon in one, you can catch a coyote in that same trap the next night if you reset it. It's just some of them shy away from that.
Yeah. So those catch circles, they get tore up bad. Obviously, they're making big loops and circles and stuff. So, what was I going to say? When your stakes, do you stake? You just use stakes or use earth anchors? Both?
I use earth anchors. That's all I use. Yeah, I use wolf fang earth anchors, and since I've switched to them a handful of years ago, I don't know that I've lost a trap, and I lost a lot of traps. It was a rough learning curve because I didn't know anybody that coyote trap, and so a lot of mine it was trial and error. A lot of reading books and going to seminars and
So an earth anchor is like it's a 2.5, 3 inch flat piece of metal with a cable attached to it, and you drive it down. You kind of pull it at an angle, right, and then it just sets, and you can't get it out like pulling on. How do you get you use?
I've got
big
I've got a steak
puller.
Yeah. Yep.
You can't pull that crap with your hands, especially if you're getting clay stuff. Like
some of this reclaimed clay stuff around here is terrible.
Yeah, it's miserably hard.
Yeah, it's bad. And I went to all chains on. I got rid of the cables on those wolf fangs, and you usually don't tear them up. It's kind of a pull it out, clean them off, and you can go again.
Yeah,
they're ready to go. So,
have you ever used any of the drag? The drag.
I have. I've used some drags when we trap the quarries, and there's really nowhere to put stakes. I mean, a lot of times you're just on a rock floor, and you can find a depression to get your trap in usually. But we'll use pieces of riprap. That one up there that's in the shed. That was the first time we ever tried it. Taking tapcons, and we'll put tapcons into the rock, and then tie a chain to it. Because a drag, they could run for a long way down the road, and they'll never hook up. There's nothing to hook up to. But those, they don't drag them very far. Yeah. So we've always kind of affectionately called it our rock dogs.
That's pretty funny.
That's pretty wild. But they work. They work. They're quick. You can make them really quick.
That's funny. Yeah. Explain what a drag is.
A drag, I mean, it's if you don't want to stake or you are in an area where you can't stake. Some of them are just. It's really kind of like a treble hook. I mean, that's probably the best way to explain it. If
like
you don't know what
treble hook for catching gators, basically.
Yeah,
that size. They're big.
Yeah, it's a good size. They got some weight to them, but you put 8-10 foot of chain on them, and they're going to tie up in something. I mean, they're not going to drag one very far, through a thicket or through a woods. They're going to hang on something.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of those earth anchors, what I remember what I was going to say is I had set cameras, cell cameras on traps before, just so you know if you got it, whatever. I was watching this dog jump for all night. All night. And on my way out, I get another picture, and he's straight up in the air. And the next time I pull up there, he's freaking gone. The sucker pulled the stake straight up out of the air. That was like one of my first ones, too, and I was so pissed. I tried so hard to catch this. Pulled my stupid anchors, and then you lose your trap and everything else. And I was so pissed. Yeah. That was after I caught my wife's family's dogs 2 or 3 times. So.
Yeah, and turn them loose, and usually dogs end up your best buddies. Turn them loose.
And once they get over that initial piss at you, But that's another thing too with trapping is some people say, how it's inhumane and stuff. What do you say to that?
Well, I mean, to that, like the dogs, I've caught a few dogs before. Yeah, I mean, it's always places I've had permission, and guys know you're there. I've caught a handful, and when you turn them loose, they're not hurt. I mean, they're not hurt at all, and they're your buddy. I mean, I've caught them, and they will not leave you alone. They'll follow you back to the truck, and the way the traps are, the way those 550s are, the jaws are so thick.
Are they offset?
Yeah, they're offset. Anything over a 2-size trap, and you'd have to look in our book. I don't know the exact measurement, but there's a measurement that Indiana calls out that it has to be an offset trap on land. So everything's offset, and the jaws, they're cast jaws that are thick, and it's rare that you would even cut a foot. I mean, there would be no cut, no tear to anything. It's right on the pad, and the bobcats that we let go a lot of cats, run off and...
Yeah, they're totally fine.
They're fine. They don't even limp. I mean, they're totally fine when they go. So,
have you ever caught yourself?
Yes, I have. I've caught myself a few times. I've had to ask for help a couple times getting out of traps. Get both thumbs in them. There's all I struggled to get myself out.
Yeah,
I've done it myself. It don't feel good at all.
Yeah. You will do it eventually.
Yeah. Your pans, I guess, on the 550s. What's your, there's a lot of talk about pan tension and poundage on pan tension. That's what that is just basically the force it takes to push the pan to set the trap off.
I pay very little attention to pan tension. I don't ever measure pan tension. I set it when I'm getting traps ready. In late summer, early fall. If it feels good, I roll with it. Yeah. I don't want you to be able to breathe on it and set it off. But I don't want you to have to really step on it either. I mean,
because if it's too light, birds are going to.
And you get too light, a mouse will set it off.
Yeah,
I mean, it really will. Where you get too heavy, which I like to get, I don't mind catching coons when I'm trapping. I don't really love catching possums, especially when it's that perfect coyote set, and then you catch a possum, your first night possum catch. But you can go with a heavier paying attention and avoid some of them. Yeah. But, it makes a coyote commit, but it really comes down to preference. I don't pay a lot of attention to it. If it feels good, I go with it.
I just seen a lot of people talking about, shaving down your dog, like the dog or I guess that's what it's called, right? The dog. Yeah. The clip that's holding down your pan and like getting it just right, measuring it, with their pressure sticks or whatever, and making sure it's that 3 pound or 3.5 or whatever.
Some guys really get into the poundage of it. I don't.
That's just another thing, I guess.
Yeah, an MB out of the box, it feels really good to me. Yeah, I leave it. I don't mess with it.
Mm-hmm. You don't fix something ain't broken.
Yeah, I don't mess with it.
Yeah. So what's some tips that you have when you go to set a trap? Like, the guy told me setting trap, like, make sure the trap don't wiggle, or
that is number one.
What's some things that you would say that
you hear a lot with coyotes? Scent and location, and it's all important. But a trap moving is the worst thing that can happen in a coyote set. You want him to be able to step on that loose jaw or the lever and that trap not move. Because if it moves, he doesn't know it's a trap. I mean, they don't know what it is. The first thing they know when that thing moves is there's food underneath him. And it's down there. He already smells it. Now he feels it. Mm-hmm. So instead of working that set where you want him, he starts working that trap. And he'll start digging that trap out. Mm-hmm. That is, out of all the tips you can give anybody setting a coyote trap, that would be number one, is to make sure that trap is rock solid when you put it in. I mean, pack dirt around it and pack and pack and pack. Mm-hmm. And make sure that every one I set, I push on both levers, push on the loose jaw before I go, and I make sure it doesn't move. Okay. And then I'll put that final layer of dirt over the top of it.
Mm-hmm. So you don't put dirt over the... like pack dirt over the levers, do you?
I will. Now, I will be a little more careful if it's going to freeze. Right. If you get into stuff where you might get that crust, I'm a little more careful with my levers. A lot of times when I do mine, though, I lock them in. I'll kind of when I dig that trap bed, I'll kind of key it a little bit to get those levers down, and then I'll twist the trap and twist those levers into some of that virgin dirt I haven't messed with yet and help that stabilize the trap. Mm-hmm. I've never noticed that it hurts me, but when I know it's going to be cold, some of the weather, like the few traps we set over Christmas this year when it was in the negatives, I didn't do it then, just because I knew if I got any freeze, it wouldn't want to fire.
Yeah. Do you use them like the antifreeze flakes or whatever they're called? Using
some, but
mainly wax dirt.
Wax dirt. This was actually the first year I used wax dirt. I mixed dirt with some gravel, some man sand stuff. I was really happy with it. It worked well for me. It packed easy. It looks a little funny when you're done with it. Mm-hmm. It didn't seem to affect anything though. Mm-hmm. But in the past, I would carry just regular salt. I'd go to Walmart, Dollar General, somewhere, just pick me up a big thing of salt. Yeah. And I just used straight salt on it. It was all I did. So I'd put the trap in, salt around the jaws, around the levers, put a layer of it, put the dirt, put a layer, and then just skim it with another layer of dirt, and it seems to work. The only thing that doesn't work is when you start getting that little bit of rain, then it gets down below freezing. Once it's wet, it's wet.
Right.
And it's going to freeze up on you.
Talking about getting that dirt on top of it, I first realized that you really need a sifter pan. Mm-hmm. I was like trying to crumble up dirt with my fingers on it. This is not going to work. So you got to have that, just like a grater, for dirt, basically, to get that fine dirt over top so you can really flatten it out. But that was something that I learned quick.
Yeah, you'll do that, and it helps you. You can use those to blend insets too. You take some weeds and rub those weeds. If you want to, depending on what kind of set you're making, if you want to hide that trap.
Yeah.
I was told one time by a trapper, he was setting a trap, and he would take a little stick for a coyote trap. Mm-hmm. Take a little stick and put it right. So like you got your pan right before the pan, so your coyote, you ain't gonna step on that stick. Is that something that you
like a step over?
Like a step over.
Put little guides in that. Yeah, I mean, I don't do a lot, but when I'm done, you always want to know exactly where that pan's at. And I'll always make sure that pan is the lowest part in that set. I always build up around it. And then as I pack that in last, that pan is visible to the last second for how I do it. And then I'll just put that skim coat over the top. Well, that low spot to try to guide him into that. And then I'll just take little dirt clods or, if I found scat somewhere, I may take some of that and put it on that and guard that loose jaw or guard a lever with it. They're not going to step in it. They'll step over it and they'll do the same thing. And it doesn't take much of a guide or much of a little dirt clod to make him step where you want to step. Now, you'll get to some of them and you'll see where their feet have been all over your trap bed and they never stepped where you wanted them. So it's not a foolproof method, but it does help.
For your pan covering, do you use like mesh pan covers or anything? Or
I use polyfill underneath the pan.
Just
just a little piece of polyfill, just enough to keep that front lip open. Because that pan doesn't have to move much.
Right.
You just got to move that little bit, and it's going to fire.
You use that fill so dirt and stuff don't get underneath of it.
Yeah.
And keep
if it's good and dry, and you know it's not going to rain, you really don't have to use anything.
Yeah.
But as much rain as we get around here, with the weather changes, I use polyfill on all of them.
And then you just cover the dirt, the rest of it. I see.
Yep.
That's what I always use, those like fibered pan covers, whatever.
Yep.
I think it's just another thing that you add to it.
I used to too.
And
I used to try them. They work.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that still use them. I've used that. I've used plastic baggies. I've used wax paper. I've done nothing.
Yeah.
In polyfill is where I've kind of landed.
Yeah. That was just something else you don't have to worry about.
Yep. It's easy. It's cheap. You can carry it. It's on the other side, but I got a little pouch on the outside of my basket, and it's always there, and you can set a whole lot of traps with a little bit of polyfill.
Now I see you got like two backpack carriers and a bucket. You keep your traps separate. Your traps and your set making separate from your scents.
Yeah. So I'll carry that little scent bag with me. It's just a little DeWalt bag is all it is. But then the way I've got my setup as far as my tools, I've got two sets. The two wicker baskets up there are more or less identical sets. The top one is all for new sets, though. I don't reset anything with that, and that's just kind of my little OCD way of doing things, that I don't mix it. But everything on that one is fresh, so there's nothing in that has touched a set that has had an animal in it.
So there's no scents from
there's
other
no contamination,
stuff.
there's no blood, there's no nothing that could get on it. Now the one below it is the one I carry, remake. A lot of that, two reasons. I don't want to use the same tools. The other one is that one gets thrown in, when you're remaking and you got coyotes and stuff laying in the back of your truck. Stuff gets splashed on it. It probably doesn't matter. It's just one of my little OCD ways of doing things, and it's worked, so I just stick with it. But they're identical packs, other than the top one has a stake driver, the remake one doesn't, and I do carry bait on the side of that remake one, because all I do is bait a remake. I don't do anything else. There's enough scent there, but I still want him to think there's something in there to eat.
Yeah.
So that's all I do. I don't really get carried away on remakes.
Yeah, it's just another thing with scent control, obviously.
Yeah.
A big thing. So I guess, you catch a coyote. Now, how do you dispatch it? What do you use?
I use 22.
In the head or body?
I shoot him in the head. It's a little bloodier, but it's fast. It's very fast. And I don't mind. They're all bloody. There's different ways of doing it, but some guys will shoot him in the heart, and it's quick, but usually you hit him in the head, it's over before they would hear the bang. So,
and too, with your, once you skin them out and stuff, there's no holes anywhere near where you're, the good parts of it. So.
And a 22 hole's not gonna hurt them anyway, but I've shot them in the head forever, and it's quick, and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. So you bring it home. How long you got before it starts going?
Well, they're a whole lot easier to skin when they're warm.
When they're fresh, yeah.
But with my schedule, it's usually that night. So, I hang them. I go hang from the back leg. It kind of lets all that intestine, any of the stomach kind of fall into the rib cage a little bit. It seems to help some.
That's the stuff that causes the green,
yeah,
the intestine
you get that
stuff.
green on your belly where, I mean, that's what they're made to do is all that bacteria in them is, I mean, it's made to eat.
Right.
What they eat. Well, it starts attacking them as soon as they're dead.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got, I mean, if it's cold, you can go, 24 hours or so, but I try to get them within that 12-hour range. I've let a couple go, longer than I should have, but
right.
If it's cold and you got them hung up, you can get away with it sometimes. But
how quick can you skin a coyote?
I'm not very fast. I mean, if they're warm and I use my skinner, I'm like a 5 to 10 minute guy. I'm not real quick.
What's your skinner? Like, what's that?
Right here. So what I do is I'll open them up.
Okay.
Yep. So I open them up on the table and I'll get their back legs and tail out, and then I strap their back legs to the winch side, and I'll clamp his hide to those vice grips on the bottom.
Yeah.
And then I'll just winch him out of it and pull him up. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's
saves
what
a lot of pulling time.
Yeah. That's what I always hated about catching stuff. I always felt like I had to skin them and keep them.
Yeah.
Anything, and I was like, it takes too freaking long for nothing.
Yeah.
So.
And that's one thing. I do that. I mean, I get made fun of a lot from my buddies because I turn a lot of possums loose.
Yeah.
And I always say I got a soft spot for possums, and I kind of do. I mean, they're as ugly as they are. I guess I just feel bad for them.
Yeah.
But if I kill them, I skin them.
Yeah.
And I can't stand skinning possums, so I don't kill a lot of them.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to kill them, I'm going to skin them. And even with coyotes, I don't throw very many coyotes away unless he's just really mangy. Mm-hmm. Even the ones that are just kind of mediocre, I go ahead and skin him. I figure, well, I trapped him, I killed him. I'm at least going to,
yeah. So just ditch
do his thing. Yeah, I don't throw him away unless he's sick or really mangy. And I've caught some bad ones, but it's pretty sad, really. They get in that kind of shape.
Especially like starting this time of year, right? Like
some of them they'll start rubbing. Yeah, like, once they start shedding, they look terrible.
Yeah, going in and out of dens and stuff.
Yeah.
They look terrible. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So then you skin them that night. Then what? You roll them up, put them in the fridge.
Depends on how much time I've got. Most of them, I'll roll them up, put them in the freezer, put them in just a sack, and freeze them. If it's one of the weeks that I'm on vacation, a lot of times I'll flesh them out and put them up as I go. But more times than not, I'm catching them during the week while I'm still working, so I'm just freezing them, and then I'll pick a weekend out and put a dozen or whatever I've got. Just get them knocked out one weekend.
So fleshing means you take that flesher board right there, and you're taking the fat basically
and
off
the fat and the meat
off the fur,
getting it down to just the hide. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and
then drying them, hanging them to dry. Coyotes and fox, you've got to end up with them fur out like that, but you about have to start them with the hide out, and then you got to come back in and flip them and finish them with the fur out. So you can, if you set your heat right and you don't get them too hot too fast, you can go too fast. I got to be careful not to go too fast on some of them because I can't come back that next morning. It may be 24 hours before I can get back to them, and so I'll kind of do it. I'll try to purposely do it slower, just so I don't let them get away from me. I've had them get away from me, and it's no fun once they get away from me. You can do it, but it's tough.
So you got them, after you fleshed them, whatever, and then you put them in these stretchers to dry.
Mm-hmm.
Then when it's, they're good and dry and whatever, then what's after that?
After that, you pull them out of the stretchers and just hang them. You want to put them where you can still get air to them. You don't want them to all just be stacked up and where they can get in there and create, or hold heat, I guess.
You put any stuff like chemicals or anything, like salts or anything like that, or that's only when you're...
The only thing I do on my coyotes is I'll use a little bit of borax on their heads, up around the ears. I try to cut most of the cartilage out of the ears and try to skin that out as I'm skinning them. It helps those ears dry. That cartilage can end up, rotting on you and starting to slip.
Yeah.
So if the cartilage is still in there, I'll put a little bit of borax on his head and then sometimes I'll rub a little bit around his front legs, but I don't get carried away with it just a little bit. Mainly because where those front legs kind of touch.
Do you always keep your paws on?
No, I would
Pads?
keep the paws on the ones that I'm going to tan.
So what's the difference in ones you're going to tan or ones you're going to ship?
If you're going to ship them just to market, the paws there's really no value in the paws. There's no value in the legs. There's really no value in the heads other than it just looks really good when you stretch them up. All your ears look nice and pinned down, and you cut most of the leg off. Coons, you cut all the front leg off. Coyotes, I just leave a little bit, kind of at that first, I guess you'd call it the elbow, about where it ends. And then I keep them inside when I finish them. I tuck them in. They look better on a stretcher, and when you go to sell them, they stack up nice, and they fit into a bag. They don't catch on each other. But anything that I'm going to tan, I've started leaving paws on.
Okay.
So,
and when you tan them, are you selling them when they're tanned?
No.
You're just keeping them.
I just keep them. Or most of it's doing it for buddies that bring them over, and, hey, I shot this coyote, and can you skin it? And, yeah, we'll go skin it. Yeah. We'll go skin it, and it's always, do you want the paws on it or not?
Yeah. Do you soft tan them?
I don't. I just ship them. I don't do any of them. But yeah, they're soft when they come back.
Yeah. I didn't know if you did that. Or
No,
not.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's quite a bit of work. It seems like.
Yeah, I've never done it. I've just always shipped them
For no more than it costs. Probably.
Yeah, it's not that much.
Yeah.
It's not that much.
So when you're shipping off to market or whatever to sell, what's the coyote bringing in now?
Not much.
Our coyotes here
Our
in
coyotes
southern
this
Indiana
year really aren't much. I mean, trying to think back, I saw the Indiana State Trappers had an auction in Linville a couple weeks ago, and I think coyotes were only in the maybe $6-7 range, something like that.
Think
It's
about
not
that.
much. And that was on the high side. I mean, that
Yeah.
was some of the better ones.
You got $15 in a trap. You got however much in bait and gas and time and time, maybe.
Yeah, you don't want to figure it on a per pelt price or
No.
what you spend or what you're making.
This is a strictly hobby.
That's all it is. It's all it is.
Predator management, I
Yeah.
guess. But
It's fun. I mean, a lot of it for me is, with buddies and family. I trap with my dad and my uncle most of the time. It's rare that I go trap alone.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to sometimes just because it's nice to get out on your own and just go do it. But more times than not, my dad or uncle or, the girls are with me or whatever. And,
Right.
It's a lot of family.
that's what it's more about.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. It's getting people involved and spending time with your family doing it. So.
Yeah. And that's for trapping with me. That's what I love about. I've always loved about the trapping is a lot of the camaraderie that's with it, and the guys that are involved with it. It's a lot of good people. It's any kind of outdoors, but it's a lot of good people. You meet a lot of good people, a lot of fun people, and for several years after got married and had babies, and I didn't trap very much, and I always said it wasn't the trapping I missed as much. It was just the hanging out in the shed and
right.
putting up fur, and that was the fun part.
Yeah. Yeah.
But swapping stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. The trapping is more. It seems like more of an old school type of people that are doing it. It's kind of. It's definitely. It seems like it's losing its. It's a lost art. I
Oh
guess.
yeah.
That's what America was founded on, basically.
Absolutely.
So
It was.
It's kind of sad seeing it. I can't say it myself because I quit my, not doing as much anymore myself. Just with time, it seems like, but it's just part of it.
Yeah.
But I'd say, Sam, we need to go keep catching them coons though.
Yeah.
They're easy to catch. The dog proofs
Dog proofs are great.
Just stick their hands in it and you're done.
Yeah, that is a great trap.
Yeah. Clean, easy. It might be a little hard for a girl to set it, like a little girl to set them.
The way
unless you can figure it out.
Freedom brand makes one that all you got to do is compress the spring and it sets automatically. And my girls can
simple enough.
Slam them together and shove them in the ground pretty quick.
That's
so
perfect. Yeah,
they were doing it last year. They were 12 and 10 doing it. So
there you go.
And they can set them.
I need to get my different one. I fight it seems like, but anyway. Well, I don't. You got any more questions?
I don't think
Topics?
so. No.
I don't think I do either.
No.
We don't. Do you do much water trapping?
I used to. I mean, that's really where I started, was in the water.
Yeah.
And then I kind of got up on the land and started catching coyotes, and That's really what I enjoy to do. If I'm catching coons and doing that, I mean, I'll still do that, every year just to have a little bit of fun. But if I'm doing that, usually the girls are going with me, and they enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it's fun for me. It's fun trapping some of those old ditches that, I was trapping when I was 16 and didn't know what I was doing, and 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning before school.
Yeah,
that was.
That water thing too, though, it seems like it's always freezing, because it's obviously wintertime and water, and obviously it's colder. So
and beaver's a lot of fun, but I don't go chasing very often. I mean, I'll trap a few a year just because you'll be out setting traps somewhere and see it, and you're like,
better set one, just in case.
I better set a couple.
You ever deal with much otter?
I have never caught an otter.
Yeah.
I've never caught one. But I don't trap a lot of places where you would think you would catch one. And I don't do... Most of the beavers I'm catching are just little ponds where you see them where they jump in. There might be one or two, and I'm out.
Right.
But I'm not trapping. I don't trap very close to the river. Not on any big creeks. I don't...
They're pretty nasty. They stink.
Yeah,
they kill fish, like big bass and stuff.
Yeah,
nasty things.
Nasty little things.
Yeah, I've never got into it. I just don't really trap anywhere where there are any.
Yeah. Well, I think that'll wrap it up. Thanks for joining us here, letting us come into your shed here.
Absolutely.
Take a look around, and we'll post some pictures that maybe if you let us, so people can see what we got here.
Yep.
And different things, so can check it out if anybody wants to get started. It's a good spot to.
Somebody go start catching coons.
Yes.
We're gonna be gone.
It's war. War on the coons.
It makes a big difference. If you like your turkey and quail, and go at them.
And the possum.
And don't have that soft spot for the possum.
That's right.
Kill
them all.
Kill them all. All right. Take care.
Thank you, guys.